Higgsfield runs on 6 main tools, and once you know all 6, you can make pretty much everything this platform is known for. So over the next 12 minutes, I'm going to walk you through every single one of them, and by the end, you'll have mastered 97% of Higgsfield. We'll build an action film, 2 product ads, and a full fight scene along the way, and the last tool is an AI agent that builds entire videos on its own, which is honestly the craziest thing on this platform right now. The first tool is GPT Image 2, and right now it's the strongest image model you can use. You'll find it in Home, then Image, then GPT Image 2. Now, everything we make in this guide builds on the step before it. And this first image is going to become our first video in a minute, so we want to get it right. I'll set the resolution to 2K, the quality to high, and the aspect ratio to 16:9. And the reason I'm going with these settings is that our video will be 1080p 16:9, so generating the image one size bigger and in the same ratio means nothing gets cropped or stretched later. Now I'll paste in the prompt, and here's what we get. The skier is tearing down the mountain, the avalanche is right behind him, the spray is coming off the skis, and the sunlight is sitting exactly where I asked for it. Now, a lot of image models would mess up a scene like this. They'd drop the spray or move the sun somewhere else, but GPT Image 2 kept every single detail from the prompt, and that's exactly why we're starting with it. And one quick tip for your own images: don't just describe the skier. Describe the whole shot, what he's doing, what's behind him, and where the light comes from, because that's what makes an image you can actually animate. And animating this exact image is what we're doing next. Turning an image into a video is where things usually go wrong with AI. The motion comes out weird, the details fall apart, and the video ends up looking nothing like the image you started with. So for this step, we're using Seedance 2.0, which is the best AI video model on the market right now, and you'll find it under Video Gen. First, go to Upload Media, then Image Generation, and click Check Eligibility on our skier image, and that approves it as a start frame. Then I'll set the duration to 15 seconds, the resolution to 1080p, the aspect ratio to 16:9, and turn the audio on. Now I'll paste in the prompt. And if you look at the prompt, you'll see it's written as 4 numbered shots: the skier carving with the avalanche closing in, the drop off the ledge, the jump over the crevasse, and the escape at the end, with one extra line at the bottom that says everything runs at real speed. That line is in there because video models tend to turn action scenes into slow motion, and telling it real speed is how you stop that from happening. And the reason I went with 15 seconds is that it gives each of the 4 shots around 3 to 4 seconds, which is about how long action cuts are in real movies. Now let's hit generate. The skier rides down, jumps the ledge, clears the gap, and outruns the avalanche, all in the exact order I wrote. And the sound came with it too, because the audio toggle was on. So the rumble and the skis are generated as part of the video. So from one image and one prompt, you get a full action sequence with 4 camera cuts and sound, and there's no other model right now that gives you all of that in a single run. And that same model is also running under the next tool, except there it's tuned for the videos that actually make money. By the way, the Higgsfield link is in the description below. If you want to follow along, everything in this video runs on one subscription. That tool is Marketing Studio, and it exists because product ads are the biggest job in AI video right now, so Higgsfield took Seedance 2.0 and rebuilt the whole interface around products. And if you've ever paid a UGC creator or a product videographer, this part alone justifies the subscription. We're going to make 2 completely different ads from one Amazon product, and the first one needs a presenter. So under Marketing Studio, go to Avatar, then Create Avatar, and I'll paste in this prompt. And take a closer look at this prompt, because it's basically a list of imperfections with stray hairs, visible pores, slightly uneven skin, and at the end it literally tells the model to not add plastic skin. That's the trick with AI avatars. The flaws are what make them look real, because perfect skin is the #1 thing that gives AI away. I'll save her as Tessa, and from now on, anytime I want her in an ad, I just call her by her handle, which is her name wrapped in brackets, and the platform knows exactly who I mean. Now for the first ad, I'll pick Tessa as the avatar, paste the Amazon link of our product into the product field, which pulls it in as a saved product, in this case a tea infuser flask, and set the style to UGC. Then the setting goes to nature, the duration to 11 seconds, and leave the aspect ratio and resolution as is. And these settings follow the product. The ad is vertical because that's where these ads run, the setting is nature because a travel flask makes the most sense outdoors, and that's also why I gave Tessa a hiking outfit in the first place. I also went with 11 seconds because that's how long her dialogue takes to say. And you don't want dead air at the end of a talking ad, because that's where it starts looking AI again. Now the prompt here is nothing but the 2 handles and the dialogue she's going to say, so I'll paste it in. And notice there's no scene description at all, because in UGC mode, the dialogue fills the runtime and the references handle the visuals, so all your effort goes into writing good dialogue. Hit generate, and here's the result.
This little flask brews my tea right inside. Drop the leaves in the infuser, add hot water, and it stays hot for hours.
Tessa is standing outside in her hiking fleece, holding the flask. talking about brewing tea right inside it, and it honestly looks like a creator filmed this on a trail. Now for the second ad, we're using the same product with zero avatar, because Hypermotion is the one style built for product-only ads, and its entire prompt is just the product handle and nothing else. So I'll set the style to Hypermotion, the duration to 15 seconds, keep the 9:16 at 1080p, and generate. And what comes back is a full motion design ad, with the flask flying through all these dynamic angles with sound behind it, and I didn't write a single sentence for it. So you'd run this one as a paid ad, post the UGC one on your organic pages, and you now have both from one product link and one saved avatar. There's just one thing in that UGC ad that you'd normally have to regenerate the whole video to change, and the next tool fixes it in one step. And that one thing is the voice, because the dialogue does all the selling in a UGC ad, so you don't want to be stuck with the first voice a generation gives you. At the top, click audio, then change voice. That swaps the voice on a finished video without touching the footage. So I'll upload the UGC ad we just made, pick a voice called Gia from the library, and run it.
This little flask brews my tea right inside. Drop the leaves in the infuser, add hot water, and it stays hot for hours.
And the same 11 seconds come with a completely different voice, perfectly synced. Then I'll run it one more time with a voice called Chloe.
This little flask brews my tea right inside. Drop the leaves in the infuser, add hot water.
And now I have two versions of the same ad, one run per voice, ready to test against each other. And if you do the same thing with different languages, you're basically localizing your ads, because the footage stays identical while the voice changes for every market.
この小さなフラスコは中でお茶を入れます。茶茶をインフューザーに入れ、お湯を注ぐと何時間も熱いままです。
You can even upload your own voice sample instead of using the library, so your ads can speak in your voice without you ever filming anything. So the quick tools handle the ad side of the platform, and what's left is the half that Higgsfield built for actual filmmaking. And that's Cinema Studio 3.5, which runs on the same Seedance 2.0 as Marketing Studio, just specialized for film-style videos. Now, the biggest problem with AI films is consistency. Your character's face changes between shots, your location looks different on every cut, and Cinema Studio fixes that by flipping the order. You build your assets first, and then you direct them. Asset number one is the character, and you'll find that under Cinema Studio 3.5, then Image, then AI Cast, then Build Your Cast. There's no text prompt here, you build her from settings instead, so I'll set the genre to action, the budget to 200 million, the era to the 2020s, and the archetype to hero. Then I'll build her, female, mixed, 30 years old, athletic build, tall, a facial scar under details, and workwear as the outfit. And that facial scar is actually a smart pick, because a clear detail like that helps the model keep her face consistent across shots. So I'd always give your characters one feature that stands out. Hit generate and the result comes back as a full character sheet, with a front view, a back view, and a close-up, and I'll save her as Quinn. Those three views matter, because now the model knows her from every angle, and that's what keeps her looking the same when the camera moves around in the video. Asset number two is the location, and to make it, go to Cinematic Locations under the Image tab, and paste this in. And that gives us this daylight shipping container yard, with the cranes, the long corridors, and the harbor water in the distance. Now to save it, you go to Upload Media, then Elements, then New Element, upload the image, set the name, set the category, and save. The same flow works for props and set pieces too, so everything you'll ever reuse stays saved in one library. Now for the actual video, I'll head over to the Video tab, load the saved character and the saved location. And below Quinn's reference, there's a small smile icon that opens an emotion picker, so I'll set her to Vigilance, which basically tells the model how she carries herself before anything even happens. Then the genre goes on action, 15 seconds, 1080p, 16:9, and audio on. And the prompt calls our assets by their handles, so I'll paste it in. And if you read it, it never describes Quinn or the yard, because the handles carry all of that, so all you're really writing is the choreography, what happens, and in what order. It's 3 shots. Quinn walks down the corridor as 4 men close in. She throws the first one into a container wall and drops the next one with an elbow. And when the last 2 rush her together, one gets swept off his feet and the other ends up pinned against a container. Hit generate and we get a full 15-second fight scene where her face, her outfit, the scar, and the location stay consistent through every single cut. And that's because the assets are saved, so the model isn't reimagining them for every shot. Now, directing that video took around 10 different settings, and that's exactly the control you want for professional work. But Higgsfield now has a second way to get to the same place. It's called Supercomputer. It sits right on the Higgsfield homepage, and it's an AI agent that runs every tool you just learned completely on its own. So instead of doing the work yourself, your only job now is approving what the agent wants to do. I'll go with ask before generation to confirm before running, which makes it pause and ask for approval at every stage, so it never spends credits on something you haven't seen. Now I'll paste in the prompt, and the prompt doesn't have any settings or shot lists or handles in it. It's just the scene I want, one instruction to build the elements and a storyboard first, and the basics, 30 seconds, 16 by 9, audio on. I only spelled out that order, elements first, then storyboard, then video, because that's the same order we just used for the fight scene. And telling the agent to work that way is how you get the same consistency without doing any of it yourself. From there, the rhythm is always the same. It gives you 3 options, you pick one, and it moves on. So it shows me 3 versions of the first character and waits for me to pick. Then it does the same for the second character, and then again for the location, with 3 takes on the container yard. Then it writes its own video prompt, basically a storyboard it came up with from nothing but my sentence. And that's the moment you realize it just did the entire Cinema Studio process by itself. And every choice it asked me to approve is something you already know how to judge, because the character sheets are the same casting work we did in Cinema Studio. The locations go through the same element flow, and the storyboard uses the same shot numbering we wrote for the Avalanche video. The 30 seconds come out as 2 videos, so you download each one, then stitch them together in CapCut, which is the only step that happens outside the platform. And the finished result is a 2-character action scene in a container yard, with a full story, from one sentence that took me 10 seconds to type.
I'm done running. All that size, and still just a big body.
And the wildest part of this whole guide is that last tool, because one sentence just turned into a finished film with characters, a location, and a story. So when you're ready to start creating, the Higgsfield link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.